Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Card. I've got the big light on today because it's quite damp and dark over here. So I've got like a little light shining on my head there. So I'll do that or do that so that I'm not. Anyway, so yeah, I've had to put the big light on. It'll be fine once I switch over to the desk view. So I hope you can hear me. I sort of forgot how to. I forgot what I was doing this morning and didn't start the live properly. But anyway, I can see there's lots of people on. I'm saying lots. There's 6 people according to my stats. So that's not lots. So hopefully people will come on in a moment and hopefully you can hear me. So I can see that Wendy's on. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Melly from Italy. Good morning, Paula. Oh, and you're watching on YouTube, Paula. Very good. Hiya, Jill. Hiya, Val. Hi, Anne. It's a bit overcast and a bit damp here. Oh, I've jumped up to 14 people. So if you're watching on Facebook, I might suggest you hop over to YouTube. YouTube is that way. Didn't you know that? Hop over to YouTube and there's a little bit more chit chat going on YouTube, although I may have probably just popped up on your Facebook feed. So yeah, Wendy says loud and clear. She can hear me. So we're going to get started. It's a new round. Well, it's a new month. Yesterday, this little light's doing my head in. It's a new month yesterday, 1st of August. It was actually Yorkshire Day yesterday, and I live in Yorkshire. Was born in Yorkshire. I'm very Yorkshire, as you can probably tell from my accent. So it was Yorkshire Day yesterday. So happy Yorkshire Day, belated to anybody in Yorkshire watching. And today there's lots going on with Stampin' Up. There's lots of new things. Well, I'm saying there's lots of new things. There's one new thing, really. There's lots of new things for us demos. So there's one new thing for customers, and that is we have some extra celebration. Oh, hi, Jane. We have some extra celebration items that you can claim with a spend in August. Now, if you don't like what we offer in the celebration brochure, or if you've already got what you want from there, but you want to still order in August, then we have some items from the annual catalogue that are sort of everyday items that you can now choose. I have shared the flyer on my Facebook business page and Instagram this morning. So please take a little look at that. Now, I have to say something. It's really, really, really important. How I am to the YouTube is to the right. Yeah, YouTube was that way, or whichever way I said. Anyway, so this is really important. For example, if you spent £90 in August in one transaction, there's a lovely die called the Spots and Dots. It's like a big background die. You can get that for free, completely for free. And it's about 20 something pounds. It's quite pricey. In fact, I've got my catalogue here. Let me check how much it is. It's called the Dots and Spots, not the Spots and Dots. But anyway, it's actually £30. Now, you can get that free with a £90 spend. Now, I have to tell you, though, there's a special code. These free items, you can't put the codes in from the catalogue. That's the codes to pay for the stuff. So you need to use the code that's on the flyer that I shared. Hope that makes sense. Please send me a message if you've got any questions. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flick over because this light's annoying me. Okay. So yeah, don't use the code in the catalogue. Use the code on the flyer because Stampin' Up needs to do a different code to show that it's free. I've got my coffee. I want to give a really big shout out and welcome to Paula today from Wales. Because Paula found me on social media. It could have been on TikTok. And she's put a couple of orders in online, new to Stampin' Up, but loves crafting and finds it good for her mind and switching off and everything. and found me on the socials, placed an order, and she's now doing coffee and card with us. She's been watching on a Tuesday, and she's now signed up to a class, and she put a little photo on Instagram of herself all set up, ready for this morning. So it was lovely to see the excitement of someone doing it for the first time, because we're on round 23 now, some of us. So welcome, Paula. It was TikTok. Yeah, I thought it was TikTok. So welcome, Paula. And yeah, today we're going to start. It's the first week. We're here for 5 weeks using the Full of Love stamp set. We're going to do lots of colouring. But I do want to remind you that I've now opened bookings for the next round. Starts on the 6th of September. And it's the Jingle, Jingle, Jingle stamp set. And you're going to get the stamp set included. Now, these words here do stamp a lot bigger. The stamp the size that you see here. These aren't necessarily the cards we're going to be making. I think this one definitely will be one of them. But this starts on the 6th of September and it is for 5 weeks. And all the details you can find here. It's on my website already. All right. So that's another 5-week course. Right, adverts over. Let's get to business. Oh, hi, Karen. Hi, Fiona. So the first card in your pack. Oh, why have I got two? Okay. In your pack, you should have your envelopes in a separate. You should have had those in your box. And a coffee and a biscuit. We've got our card base. Sometimes people might call that a card blank, but yeah, we've got our card base. Then we've got this piece of checked paper. Now, this is from the papers that you can get with a big order or Stampin' Rewards that are at the back of the mini catalogue. The Celebrate Today, I think they're called. They're like some Christmassy ones. Christmas and sort of all sorts of occasions. Nice funky colours. Then you have a piece of white card. This is for stamping your envelope and flowers on. Then you have a little strip of Highland Heather that I have cut to size. Have cut it to size for you. Tried to make this first week quite easy. And then you should have a little, well, I'm saying a little gem, but it's the biggest one from this pack, from the iridescent. Oh, thanks, Val. Right, so let's start by doing a little bit of colouring. Okay, so I'll put my, oh, actually, no, I'm going to show you how to sort your stamps out. So for anyone new who hasn't used our stamps, these ones are the red rubber ones. They're called Cling. And you will see that sometimes I put the stickers on the back and sometimes I don't. I'm a little bit naughty. And sometimes I don't put them on purpose because I think, oh, I'm going to show them how to do that on my coffee and card. So if we want to put the sticker on the back of this one that we're going to use, you get your sticker sheet and you will see that there's one side that's a little bit shinier than the others. And if you fold it, there should be a slit down each of the images. So you're going to pull that off the sticker. And then you're going to pull the backing off your stamp. Now mine, I've already had all the backings pulled off them. Oh no, some of the smaller ones haven't. So pull the backing off the stamp so you're exposing the cling foam. So it's a bit shiny. So pull the paper backing off. You can dispose of that. And then what you do is, this die cut shape should perfectly match this stamp. So we're going to pop this in like that, lay it down, and just be careful, take your time, because once that's on, you can't really peel them off. And then we have the sticker on the back, and the sticker is sticky, okay, and it will stick to your block now. So that's a little tutorial on sticking your stamp on. Now this one just fits on the block D, just okay. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to stamp in basic grey. You need to use a water-based ink, and I love basic grey. You can use Memento if you want Memento, but it needs to be a water-based ink. not a stays on, because that's got alcohol in and our pens have got alcohol in. So I'm going to tap and stamp down, and there we have our image. Now I don't need to stamp it in the middle because we're going to cut this out. If you do have a problem with your first go, then turn it over and you should be fine. You shouldn't really see it through. Okay. Right. So we're going to do a little bit of colouring. So the colours that I am using, now if you need to stock up on your colours, these are the colours I'm using throughout the session. I'm just going to pop them. These are old ones. I might need to get my new ones out. So the green that I'm using is Granny Apple Green. The yellow's Daffodil Delight. Then we've got Polished Pink and Highland Heather. I've got 21 of you watching now. Please do say hi. What I tend to do when I'm colouring, and you've got to find things that work for you, I like to start with the biggest piece, the biggest flower. So I'm going to start with the yellow, with the daffodil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour over this centrepiece, even though we're not going to see that. And with the dark, I'm going to colour over the lines, just bring in some of the dark. I'm not going to the edge. I know that's far away, so what I will do is this. I'm just doing that. And they're all different. Each petal is different because every petal on the flower, on a real flower, is different. And I am using the bullet end, the nib end, rather than the brush. And then I'm going to colour over the dark. With the lighter one now. And I press quite hard here. Now if you want, you don't have to go right to the edge, and I'll show you what I've done on my previous one. Okay, and then what you might want to do, we've got a bit of blend going on there. And you might want to go over your lines again, like that. And then you get a little bit more definition. Okay, so these techniques, these skills of the colouring that I'm doing this week, these will carry on for the next week, the week after, you know. So I might not explain every week. I might just crack on with the colouring. What you can see from the one I made as a sample, you know, experiment with it. I've not quite gone to the end with the light one. I've left a little bit of a white sort of edge, white tipped sort of petals, and I like that look. Particularly I like it with the Highland Heather. So the next ones I'm going to do are the Highland Heather, speaking of Highland Heather. And I'm going to start with the dark, and these are my favourite parts on this stamp. And it's these ones here, and I'm just going to colour each of the petals just a little bit of dark at the bottom. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit there on the top one. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the bottom of each of the petal, because you've got to think it's like where the shadow could be, where the other petal that's over the top of it might be causing a bit of shadow. Now, honestly, I'm no expert. I'm no expert at the colouring. I just try my best and do how I think. Please don't sweat it over the colouring. Just see how it goes. Wait till you see all the other cards, Fiona. You know, at the end of the day, we're not saving lives here. You know, we're just colouring. So please don't get wound up about your colouring. Just enjoy it, because that's why we do crafting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the bottom of what I've coloured and then pull the ink up to the top. And I'm purposely leaving a little bit of a white top of the petal, and I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to go and do all of them, all 3 flowers. This is one of those stamp sets that I didn't get it initially, and then I saw loads of lovely cards, and it's one of those, it's a perfect set for those sort of just because cards. I mean, you can do happy birthday with them, but they're a really nice set for a get well or a thinking of you, because it says sending love your way. That's what we're going to stamp today. And that can be for a number of reasons, can't it? Okay, so what I've done, you can see there, you can see a bit of blend. But what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go back over with a little bit more dark, not too much. Just let it soak in for now. Probably only on the bottom ones, the bigger ones. Just going to let that soak in for now and see what that does. See how that looks. Yeah. I'll leave it for a little moment. Have a drink of my lovely cappuccino. Yeah, Fiona, we've got some new dies that have, oh no, sorry, they're not till next month. We've got some celebration items that have been launched today that are extras that are not in the brochure. They're just regular items. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back over and add a little bit of the pale. I'm not sweating it. There, can you see? You can see that? Nice bit of blendage. All right. So now I'm going to do the pink. I always try and, I don't know why, I always leave the leaves. I leave the leaves for last. Now with the pink, I mean, you can, if you prefer, I'm not a massive pink fan. If you prefer pink to be your focal point, then feel free to change these colours round. Don't feel you have to do what I do. If you love hot pink, have this one as the pink one. So what I'm going to do here is just with the dark one, I'm literally doing a little tiny bit at the bottom of each of the pink flowers. And then I'm going to go over with the lighter one. And again, I'm not going to go to the top. I'm wondering actually if I can zoom in. I've never zoomed in when I've been doing this. Oh, let's see if that works. No. Before when I've filmed, I've been able to zoom in, but because I'm on the StreamYard now, I don't think it works. Anyway, I'll keep showing you what I've done. I'm just going to go back with the dark one and add another little sort of dot of dark at the bottom. And you will find the colour changes as it dries. Exactly, Wendy, that's a really good idea. Right, so what I do now is I'm going to take the lighter of the granny apple, and I'm just going to colour in the bottom of these lilac flowers with it. There's no point blending that. It's such a tiny area, just the bottoms of the flowers. And then I'm going to do a line on all of the stems, just with the light one. Okay, so that just adds a little bit of extra and covers that grey. I'm all about covering the greys. In fact, I'm getting them covered tonight. Okay. And then the leaves. Now, I think why I like to leave the leaves to last is because it makes it all pop. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do a little bit of dark, sort of at the bottom where the leaves meet. I will show you. Again, I'm always, if you've noticed, I've not once used the brush end. I tend to always use the nib end, the bullet end, some people call it. And then I'm going to go over with the light, small circular motions. And again, I really like not going to the edge on the leaves. For those of you who may have missed the beginning of the video, the colours that I'm using, because I know I will get asked: a Daffodil Delight for the first flower, for the yellow one, Highland Heather for these ones, the lilacs, Polished Pink for the pinky little ones, and then this is Granny Apple Green. The Granny Apple Green and the Daffodil, they're from the Brights family. You know, we've got colours in colour families. They're from the Brights. The Highland Heather's actually from the Subtles collection. And the Polished Pink was one of the in colours from last year. Could use Melon Mambo from the Brights, but I feel it's a bit darker. So I'm just going to go back with my light one. I'm actually going to go back over the dark bit, even though it's the light pen, and just add a little bit more, put another layer of colour on. And we've done our colouring now. When do we use the brush end, Fiona? When it's a larger area. These are all very small. So when I was colouring the hippos, sometimes I did on the tummies, because the tummies are quite big on the hippos. Right, now we've got to do the dreaded fussy cutting. Honestly, I've had so many comments about fussy cutting on some of my videos recently. So, if you haven't got the best scissors ever, Stampin' Up paper snips, you need to pop these on your next shopping list. And what I'm doing is I leave a really small edge of white, so I don't go right up to the line. Show you there. Don't know if you can see it actually. If I do that, yeah, you see there. And I tend to move the card. It's not the scissors that are cutting. And you might see that I sort of never get to the point, to the edge, pointy end of the scissors. I like to trim off any excess like that. Now we'll talk a little bit about how much cutting is too much cutting in a second. There we go. So, as you can see, I did come down here a little bit because I knew I felt okay with that, but I wouldn't have come down here and taken that white bit out. It's just not worth it. There is a little bit I feel like I need to just trim around there. But yeah, don't try and go down here and take all these bits out. It's just not worth it. It's handmade card at the end of the day, isn't it? So there we have our lovely, lovely image. What time are we on? Oh, 5 to. Okay, so let's stick this down. They are a must, aren't they? So I'm going to stick that on there like that. Got a nice wide white border on this card. And then this is going to go in the middle like that. Okay, now that's going to get stuck up on with some foam pads, dimensionals as we call them. Have to say, please don't be alarmed when you can see the other side of the colouring. That's perfectly normal. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Like that. Right, let's just put that to one side, because we've now got the trickiest bit of the card. Now you're thinking, Julie, you've made me stamp on a right little piece on the first session. Well, I've got to do it as well, so I would advise that you put the sticker on the back of this one like that. Just check, because sometimes there can be more rubber at the top than at the bottom of the greeting. Just check that out and make a note of that. So yeah, right, so we've got sort of two chances at this really, because we can use the other side. We do sell double-sided cardstock. So I'm using basic grey, and you might get my head on the shot here. And I'm going to stamp it in the middle. Oh, oh, oh. Bingo. We'll have that. We'll have that. Okay. Now, if you want, you could simply pop that. It's just a little bit longer than the paper. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you want, you can leave it like that. You can leave it with the just the normal edges. But what I've wanted to do is I'm going to flag the ends. So, ready? When I show people this and they've never done it before, they think it's like an amazing tip. So it's rather than going from there and going from there and try and get it in the middle, you snip up the middle first, because it's easier to work out where the middle is. So snip up a little bit and then go in from the edge and meet with that, and then from the other edge, from the other corner I mean, and meet in the middle like that. So we'll do that again. We'll snip up. And again, please don't worry if this is a handmade card. No, don't be beating ourselves up. That's not why we do this. Yeah. And then we have our flagged ends. Now, before we finish, before we stick that down, what you've got to remember is you can put some glue on there, but these ends need securing. Now, there's quite a bit of distance at each side. So what you need to do, sort of like making a bridge, we're going to put one foam pad at the end. If yours are quite large, then you might have to trim them down, your foam pads. So just don't take the backs off, but just check that fits in, and those foam pads are at the sides, if that makes sense, and they're not on top of the envelope. Now you can put a little bit of glue on in the middle here if you just want to secure like that, and then we'll take the backs off and then we'll pop it there like that. Yeah. So we're all balanced up with the foam pads. And then the final thing is to pop our gem on. Oops. They're really hard to get off when I've cut them down. So we're just going to pop that on there in the middle. Da, da, da. And there we have a lovely, lovely card, lovely colours. Hope you like it. Hope you like. So there we've got both cards. I've got 2 ready to go. I'm going to just pop those together and I will show you next week's card. I've got it somewhere. Hang on. Where did you put it, Julie? Okay, I've got it. This is next week's card. So I've coloured them slightly differently for next week. So this is going to be next week's. And then they're going to get a little bit more fancy, a little bit trickier after week 2. So that's next week's card. I'll be back at the normal time of 10:30 next week. So please do tune in for that. Now, the week after, I'm not sure if I'll be on in the morning. I might have to either do it as a pre-record or do it in the evening because my car's going in for service. This is not next week. This is just a pre-warning. It's the 16th. So I'm not sure what will be best. So I will let you know when I'm going to do the class because I don't know how I'm going to get my car there and get back and all stuff. It's a bit, it's a bit stressful. So anyway, that's next week's. This was this week's. So if you are interested in the products or you want to book on a class, then the events page to book on an event is scrolling along the bottom. And if you do want to order, then you can order here. I'm just going to pop it on the chat. There we go. The craft room day sounds fantastic, Fiona. That sounds absolutely amazing. So thank you to everybody for watching, and I've got 21 of you on at the minute, which is lovely. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, Paula, your first week, and I'll see you all back next week. Let me just Okay, should be back on now. So I will see you all hopefully on Thursday night for paper crafts and piano. Don't worry, Anne, it's fine. Oh, that's lovely. I will see you on Thursday night. And if not, I'll see you next Tuesday. Don't forget about the Jingle, Jingle, Jingle class that I've got coming up on the 6th of September. I'm just doing 2 Christmas coffee and cards this year. Fiona's already booked on and Val's already on, so they've got the front seats. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your chit chat. And I will see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.